Here is a clip from Hajj, okay? You see a tiny girl, maybe a year old, barely walking, standing there holding a plate of dates. Pilgrims, men in their ihram, are stopping and eating the dates and kissing her, and then you get to see that she just got tired, she just collapsed, and then eats from her own plate. To average Western observers or someone who doesn't know anything about Islam, this looks culture. It looks like love and attention at the same place, right? You might even think, oh, don't they just love this kid? But for me, I cannot unsee what I know. And if you open the Islamic sources, this is not cute at all. This is simply tragedy. So let's apply Islamic logic to this. Because you can't judge.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. Watching the adorable scene where this beautiful little girl is sharing out some sweet dates around the holiest place in the world, around the most sacred place in the world, to the visitors of the Most High, the visitors of the most beautiful in Baytullah al-Haram in Makkah, is such a scene. Every pure heart, every pure soul that is still in its natural form will feel delighted to watch again and again. Like, watch how the little girl is sharing the dates, and people are really taking the dates from her hands, appreciating her, and pecking her on the head to show the appreciation. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. But unfortunately, there exist certain people who seems to have a lot of problems with this, not only one. They claim to see beyond what we cannot see. They claim to see what does not exist. And they claim to have so many moral lessons to give Muslims about what you have just seen. But do you know the most ironical part of it all? These are the same people that could not offer a poor mother formula to feed her starving baby who was even crying from the background. They are the same people that none of their churches could nurse the courage to say, yes, we can help a little child who is starving. But all of a sudden, they seem to have so many problems with a girl, a little girl, sharing dates to Allah's visitors in Baytullah al-Haram. How can such a person find a morality problem in such a video? It doesn't make sense. They are the ones who deserve to be educated, to be lectured, to be trained on moral values. And the best people who can give them such lessons, the best people who can educate them on moral values are the Muslims and no other person else. But we are going to give them very good moral lessons about this particular video.
Sex while they are taking their spiritual trip. There is a whole business of sexual exploitation masked as religious marriages happening in the shadow of Kaaba. So, look at this toddler, right? She's one or 1.5. She eventually collapsed. She can't even hold a plate. She's tired. She has been objectified for blessings. She's been sexualized by hijab. She's been conditioned to submit to physical affection of a strange man. This isn't love.
First of all, the most important thing that we learn from this video is the fact that Muslims instill such beautiful characters and moral conduct into their children at such a young age, teaching them how to give out to people, teaching them how to give sadaqah, teaching them how to help others, teaching them that when you have, you give. The little you have, no matter how little it is, you give out. Imagine this child grows up and she receives a phone call in the middle of the night from a mother who could not afford a formula for her baby. Will she reject the mother? Will she not go out of her way to help the mother? She would. Of course, she would, because she had learned these values since she was a child. So maybe those who are trying to see problems with this video, who are at the same time the same people who couldn't offer formula for a starving baby, did not know the meaning of giving sadaqah and teaching children to do so at an early age. That's why we cannot blame them. Again, she seems to have a problem with the fact that the little girl, as little as she is, has started wearing a hijab. Common sense would have answered her, and she would not come out here saying all of this. Because everyone that has a little wisdom in them says, if you want to teach a child something that they will grow up with, you teach them that thing at a young age. You don't allow them to grow and then you try to force ideas into their heads. You teach them something and they will grow with it. In fact, when you teach a child something when their mind is still fresh, when their mind has not yet been corrupted by the society, that thing will instill in them like the carving on a stone. That is what we Muslims do. We teach our children at a very young age so that when they grow up, it would have been a very normal way of life for them. No matter the amount of brainwash that is coming from Islamophobes, it will no longer, it will never ever affect them. Maybe that's why she has a particular problem with this because she thinks it's going to be a very big problem to try to brainwash such a child out of Islam. We understand. She also seems to have a problem with the fact that the people to whom this child is sharing this debt appreciate the child and they are pecking the child and they are giving her kisses of appreciation and encouraging her to know the beauty of what she is doing by giving out gifts to others. Of course, we know why she would have a problem with this. Someone visited the Prophet and saw him kissing his grandsons, Hassan and Hussein. And the person was so surprised. He said, I have so many children and I've never kissed any of them. The Prophet said, if there is no more mercy left in your heart, what can I do for you? Meaning, having that empathy on children, having that feeling of mercy on children is the sign that there is mercy in your heart. Why won't someone who supports the unaliving of children in Gaza interpret this as something completely different? Of course they would, because there is no mercy left in their hearts. And the Prophet ﷺ said, he is not from amongst us. He who does not have mercy on our little ones and do not have respect for our elderly ones. Now, this is the beauty of Islam. So no Muslim will have an evil intention appreciating a little girl that has just gifted him a gift of tamar, a gift of dates. Trying to paint such a dirty picture about such a cute, beautiful, and adorable scene only shows how dirty you are upstairs. It only shows how dirty your mind is, and nothing else. You don't have to be a Muslim to appreciate such a scene. You just need to be a human being with a clean, pure, and uncorrupted heart and mind to recognize such a beautiful scene. May Allah protect our children for us and give them the best of hidayah and make them the coolness of our eyes and make them to grow as beautiful ambassadors of his religion and Islam. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.